Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices, and starting with the S&P here. So we've got two counts that we need to work through. So the first one is the possibility of putting wave B here and putting wave C in here as being completed, for this wave 4 to be completed here, and we can move straight up there. If that is going to be the case, then we'll look. We don't have 5 waves up here yet. We have 1, 2, 3 up here. If we get 4 and 5, then that will confirm that we're going to get another 5 waves up. So if we do get one, we've got 1, 2, 3. If we get 4 and 5, then we're also going to get an ABC. So we'll use the ABC as our long trade setup. So that will be that. So we just have to wait for that to be out. Okay. The other count is this count here, where we bring this one down here a little further, and this wave 4 can come down here, and then we look at an ending diagonal triangle, as basically 1, 2, 3, 4 up here, and then coming down for 5, and then moving up. So they're the two counts, and we're going to look at them on the intraday basis, but we're going to look at one of the counts on the S&P intraday on the 15-minute count, and then we're also going to have a look at the other count on the Nasdaq on the 15-minute count. So in this case here, we're going to look at this particular market. So we'll just come here, let me just bring this back in over here, and this is the top over here, and we're just going to bring some data on here, and this would be this particular correction coming into play here. So this would be the ending diagonal at this particular point. So we're looking for wave A here, wave B up here, and then 5 waves down. So 1, and then an ABC for 2, and then wave 3 down here, and then an A and a B and a C wave for wave 4. So as wave 4 here, what we'd need to see here is we can see that we've got the A wave here, the B wave here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I mean, we just basically need to see this little move here. Looks like wave 1 at a bit of a guess. So I'll just go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here, something like that to finish off, and then we'd come down at this point, and when we come down here, then we would move up at that point. Okay, so that's this is this count. Okay, so the other count that I just mentioned, which we're going to have a look at the Nasdaq, would make this wave 1 here, wave 2 here, this would be wave 3, because the Nasdaq had this little low here, came below the previous low over here. So we would look at this as wave 3, 4, and 5. It doesn't matter too much, because we're just going to wait for this to top out, and then we'll have an ABC pattern here, and then we'll move up at that point. And if this is the case, then we just simply go long at this point here. Now we'll definitely improve on that, and we'll move in earlier than that. But the thing is, we won't know what price that will be at this point in time. We're a little bit far away, because a wave 2 can pull back 61.8%, 50%, 40%, 78.6 even, it can come to 1 point below, equal to the previous low here as well. So they're the two counts. Okay, so all we have to do now is just wait it out, and we'll see. So this is the ABC to the upside, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C of 4, and then down for wave 5 here. Now I also just wanted to check on the announcements that we've got coming out, because we know we're waiting for those announcements that pop that market to the upside. So there's nothing really much on Thursday. There is let me just have a look. There was something on the Thursday. I'm sure there was some CPI. There's a CPI report coming out too in the next session on the Thursday. So I thought I had that written down. So yeah, and then Friday we've got some retail figures coming out, and the non-farm payrolls too on the Friday. But there should be a CPI report coming out in the next session. So that is that for this particular market. And if we go back to here and then go to the Nasdaq, and with the Nasdaq here, this would be the count that would be completed. So this is, the A wave here, the B wave here, and then we go straight up. But like I said, we do need to have a little 5-wave move to the upside. So let's just go in and explore that for a moment. So this from the top here, this would be the A, the B, and the C wave here. And as you can see here, that interesting thing, this little low here took the low of this one out, which it didn't do on the S&P. There's some markets, this little pattern here has warped below and made new lows below this low here. So this is, molded in different ways in different markets. So it's interesting, but it's just good to get the consensus of those sorts of patterns. So from this particular low here, we got this move up here. So realistically, one would think that, let me just push this in here. This will be a little bit easier to do. So, yeah, if we've got this as 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here, then we go up for 5 here. If we take that top out, that will give us 5 waves to the upside. So, we could check the futures as well. But, if we do get this move here, up here yonder somewhere, what do we got, say 21,400 or something, somewhere up here, it'll meet supply, but then it's going to have a correction, isn't it? It's going to have an A and a B and a C correction. It might cover the gap, may not, all that sort of stuff, and then move up there. But for us to confirm this, then we'll just play it a little bit safe, and we'll look for that B wave high here, and then we'll move in. Okay, so that's basically all we can do at this particular point in time, and I think that's the safe move forward, because we've still got 2 counts to play out in all of this. So with that said and done, let's move on to the DAX. So with the DAX here, we've had our long trades have been triggered. So let's just go in and have a little look at this. We're going to look at this. We have to look at this as wave 1 and 2 now that this top has been taken out. So let's just go in and have a look at this here. So this secondary count has come into play and triggered some long trades at this point. So we'll need to look at this. I could count this up in a couple of different ways. I could go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here and a third wave here, and it's going quite nicely. But I've got to kind of tie it into the Nasdaq and the S&P as well. I can't just let this intraday pattern run off by itself. So we'll do that. So this will be the pattern here, because we know that when we looked at the Nasdaq just then, we were looking for a top to come into play and then an ABC pullback here. So that's what we'll do here as well. So if you've been triggered in long here, or even we talked about this low, this high, and this one, whatever, then the 20,650, which is the beginning of the next little group 2 here. So you really want to be exiting at around that 250 there. Even before that, you'd have to wait for that. I'd sort of be looking to get out now-ish, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to pull this. I'm just going to pull this down here. This will be our little exit strategy. This will be our exit thing. We'll just exit at this point. Okay, so because what we want to do here, I mean, it might push up further and then you can abuse me and all that, but that's okay. So we'll just yada yada yada. So yeah, look, this could finish anywhere up here. We could end up going like this and moving up here even further. Do you know what I mean? But I'll leave that to you to manage. But what I'm looking for next is this sort of A, B, and C pattern here. I don't know how big it's going to be either. We don't know that, but when we get it, we'll get it. And then we can put this one over here and we'll go along from there. And if we're low enough down here, we'll try to look for a classic trading levels pattern and move in up there. But definitely look to close these out shortly. Let me just have a look. I think there was something going on so in the next session for you've got some trade data coming out, some industrial trade data coming out. So yeah, so I don't know how Germany's coping with China's moving in. So I know it's sort of done a lot of damage on the the solar panel industry and the cars, and it's really sort of it's like an economic war being fought, really, I guess, but yeah. Anyway, so anyway, that's basically the pattern that we're looking for, rightio. So let's just cruise back to the next chart and to the daily here. So yeah, we're looking for, basically, just while we're here, we're looking for this wave 1 and 2 to pull back here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up for 1 and back for 2, and then 3, 4, 5 up here. So we want to catch this third wave up here. Okay, don't worry about where these prices are up here that I've got, because we just got to work through that when we get there. But we definitely want to catch this wave 2 low here. Okay, so we're going to spend a bit of time on that to get that right. Rightio. So over to the FTSE, and we're going to also turn the FTSE bullish as well, because we've got 5 waves to the upside. So we're bringing this wave 4 in here. Now I could and should maybe could have this wave 4 here at one higher degree, this instead of intermediate as primary, which is probably the right thing to do. I get it, but I'll mull that over. So yeah, look, it's the same as the DAX. We've got 5 waves up here. Okay, so there's nothing we can do about doing anything at this particular point in time. So we need to wait for a classic trading levels pattern across the top of minor group 1 here, this 100, 200 and 300. So we'll get, this is the pattern that we're looking for, just bear with me here, this one here. So this will be wave 3, 4 and 5 up here to make the wave 1, and then we'll have the ABC for the pullback here, and then we'll look to go long on that 8-3 here, but we'll try to improve on that. I always like to get a couple of small positions in, but I just have I'm not doing any day trading at the moment. I just got too much on with TradingLounge, so I've just got positions, mainly in Bitcoin, because it's the fastest horse in the race. It's doing like 45% a year or whatever. So yeah, but when I day trade, I just use very, 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 very small positions, but I build in a lot of them. But I try to get each one at sort of closer to break even, or half the risk on each one and all that. So I can end up with at least, 2 positions in here without sort of talking too much. Very small positions in here, and carry that through to getting support on here, and then sort of back the truck up into this, this trigger here. So we'll see that, and we'll just look at this on the 15-minute chart here. So yesterday we talked about this sort of setup on this here. So yeah, same. So let's just look at that. We'll just look at that being wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, a third, fourth and fifth here. We still need, if you've got a bit of a keen eye, we've got these 1s and 2s in here, so we're in the 3s and 4s. So it could take a whole session to play out here before this comes back. So we've got plenty of time here, right? This will be when Donald gets into the White House, I'd say on the 20th or something. When's that? The 20th here, somewhere around that, some sort of thing there. Yeah, so that's that, really. I mean, I don't know. So there's nothing to do here. Don't go chasing it, right? Because you'll get burnt there. And then we're going to go to the Australian market. With the Australian market, I'm going to look at it being a bit more bearish, but we'll probably have to turn it bullish as well. But it's just a little bit tricky to turn bullish. I can do it, but it's just a little bit sort of out of whack here. So the thing here is that this is the cash market, and the futures market has pushed up. And I also need to say that even though I'm doing it on the cash market, and I'll continue to do it on the cash market, but I'll also include the futures market as well, because most people in Australia will be trading this with CFDs. You know, not everybody. More professional people will be using futures contracts, so they don't have to pay the overnight financing and a few other things. But you know, this little move here as a little A wave and a B wave and a C wave works out quite well, but we will need to be looking at this moving up here further. So we'll have to look at this as an A and a B and a C up here for the A wave, and the B wave here, and then the C wave over here. Let's put that up there for the B wave, and then down for the C wave. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. We can look at this being bullish, but the bullish pattern for this would have to be that this is wave 1 here and wave 2 here, then another wave 1 up here, and then a wave 2 here. Now currently the market has pushed up to here somewhere, and it will push up a little bit higher. But when you think about those other markets that we just looked at, the FTSE, the DAX and the Nasdaq having bullish counts, then this will probably play along the same. Now there'll be a couple of things that happen here. We'll either come back as an A and a B and a C wave here for a move up at that point, or we're going to come down and test here and then move up. So I don't know how that's going to sort of play out. Do we drop a little bit further and go up at that point? So on the futures market, it looks like this here. So you can see how low this has come back to this one here. So, you know, if this was in 5 waves down here, then I could look at this as wave 1 with an A and a B and a C here, but it's not the case. So we just need to be a little bit careful. We either come back here or we come back up here, you know, but we will move with the S&P and we'll see how it all goes. So you can see here that we're looking at 5 waves moving up here, so we'll look at that. If we look at CBA, because this is really driven by the banks, but I do see there is support coming in for some of the materials, and I do see copper as, I know copper looks bearish, but I can see a bullish pattern in copper, so that could be a driver for even iron ore as well. Me and Shane are looking at FMG as well, because that's got to push up in 5 waves. I won't look at it now, but once again, you know, like FMG pushing up in 5 waves here, we're waiting for it to come back as an ABC, and we'll pick it up as a trade at that point. Just letting you know that the copper's been bearish for a long time, but there is a positive pattern moving in, okay, for that. Yeah, so this is CBA here. So CBA could do something like this. This would be like an A wave and a B wave here for this, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4 here for the that might even be the 5th wave here, I don't know, but otherwise you know, some sort of 5th wave taking this one out here or something like that. And then we'll also have to be a little bit careful that I haven't made a mistake and these tops need to be over here somewhere, and this is some sort of this move here and going up. But I think this is I'll have a look at the other banks. I think this is nearly sort of finished at that, you know, at this point. So as an A and a B and a C here, we're not seeing increased volume on any of these really. So we'll just see how it plays out over the next session or two there. But yeah, coming back to this one here, if we just, I'll just go to this one. I was going to show Gabriel's chart in the on the S&P for this, which was just a fantastic chart, I have to say. Certainly outperformed me in this. So this is the S&P here with an ending diagonal. So you call the move up there at wave 4 and then down for wave 5. So I wanted to show that at the beginning of the beginning, but wasn't the case. So back over here. Yeah, so we'll just see how this sort of plays out here. I'll just go on to the 15-minute chart here. So we know that the futures market has pushed up here, so I'll have to look at this here as a little A, B, and C wave down here, because we had this as wave 3, looking for wave 4, and then down for wave 5. But it was a bit of a mystery, because the wave 5 wouldn't have taken the wave 3 should have really been down the low here for this. But yeah, that was my my fault. So now we're up. Now we're going to be heading up here, so we've got to count 5 waves up here. I'll just have a look at the. I'll just have a look at this on 15 minutes here. I'll just see if I can see it here. So that's that. That will have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, A, B, C for 2. So this has got a bit of a climb here. If you just don't mind me taking a bit of time to just look at this for a moment, just to map it out a bit. And then this one here can go, yeah, I'll have to do that there, that's fine. 3, 4, 5. So this is, just bear with me for a second. So this will be this one. So you basically got two little moves to the upside for this. I mean, not 2 little moves, but you've got this wave 4, 5, 4, and 5 here. Now there are some things coming out for Australia as well. So that's we've got some retail figures coming out for Australia, and we've got some employment coming out as well. Okay, so just be a little bit mindful of that. Okay, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.